All right, this is gonna be a video on breaking through the noise. Breaking through the noise in my mind is like, how do we get through the clutter from a sales perspective, from a growth perspective, from a go-to-market perspective? How do we get through the clutter, and how do we decide on a path that and a trajectory and a process that is predictable and repeatable, right? From a sales side of things. So when you're starting off at a very basic level of like a business perspective, you should be going over and beyond to get one client. That means showing up. That means meeting in person. That means cold calling them. That means email soliciting them. The bigger you grow, the more it becomes like, all right, let's shoot an email. Let's meet them at a conference. Those different types of things like that. But you have to be less scrappy the further you get down this line of growth. But at the infancy, you got to be extremely scrappy to get a chance. You got to be extremely scrappy to get a chance. So, how do we declutter the noise? The clients that you're trying to reach are people that are receiving emails, don't answer their phones. They are tough to reach. You know, you don't know how you're going to get in touch with them, things of that nature. Like, we got to figure out from a scrappy standpoint at the very beginning, like, where do we start? Where do we start in this process? How do we get in front of this person? How do we separate ourselves from the rest of the noise that they are receiving? And here goes 3 things that I would suggest to separate your noise at the very beginning. So at the very beginning, to separate from the noise, I would try to show up unannounced. I would show up unannounced at the business, at the office, at the property, whatever it is, and say, hey, I'm so-and-so, we do this. I'm seeing if I could talk to somebody about what we do and what we offer. That is an impressionable first impression. Like, this person just showed up. Just let you know, this person just showed up. He was trying to meet with you, but he couldn't. I gave him your email. So now he wants to give you your email. Now you emailed him from the side. Hey, I just showed up. That's how you separate yourself from the noise. Number 2, in this age of AI and everything being automated and everything seeming unpersonable, call people. Pick up the phone and call. The last couple weeks, I've been focusing on calls, dialing for dollars, getting back to the basics of sales, having a human-to-human connection. That's the way to separate yourself nowadays. And then the third way I would say is to send a mailer, right? Like, send something in the mail to these people that has some type of value to it. Whether it's something they're not going to throw away. Put it that way, something's not going to throw away. Those are the 3 things that I would try to do for specific customers. Now, when you're in the scrappy level, you got to focus on like 10 to 20 customers, like, that you're potentially targeting, and try to get 10 to 20 no's, right? Before you move on to like 100 and 1,000 and 15,000, and we're targeting the whole nation, and things of that nature. So at the beginning, for those 10 to 20, be hyper focused on how do I get in front of those people. How do you now I'm going to look at it from like the opposite end of the spectrum, and I don't think we're all the way there yet. We're a good sized business, but we're not the biggest of businesses by any frame of the mind. But how do we declutter the noise at this level of stage of our business is we need to show up at conferences. We need to be hosting dinners at the conferences. We need to be inviting our clients at these conferences to have sit down one-on-ones at these events that they are at. We need to spend some dollars on them to have a good experience. So that's the first thing that stands you out from the competition. The second thing would be your customers talking to them about you. That's how you separate yourself in that space. If their peers are talking about you in their internal circles, that's how you can separate yourself from others. And then the third one would be host a specific conference or event that allows for them to come directly to you, and you can get one-on-one time in exchange for a unique experience that they may not normally get. So those are the 3 ways that you can silence the noise and get your messaging and your business and your product to the client based on what level size business you are. We talked about being a young, scrappy company, and we talked about being a more senior, seasoned company. So Any questions? Let me know. Anything else you guys want me to touch on? Topics based on building businesses, growing businesses. How do you get started? Things of that nature. Feel free to leave them in the comments. Subscribe and like. Thank you.